Hello everybody, today we're going to be making a banana bread and I made this about a week ago, but I am still thinking about it, so I thought it would be nice to share this video with you. And this is slightly different from how I usually make it in that I have added a Bramley apple and a conference pear. Both of these fruits have come from my garden, so it's quite nice to use them. And I don't know how much I used of each fruit. I just mashed up 2 very ripe bananas, 1 Bramley apple and 1 pear. But for the butter and the sugar that you can see on the screen, it was 140 grams of each. So once we put the butter, which was relatively warm, it wasn't super cold, but it wasn't hot either. Once we put the butter and the sugar together, we cream them together for a few minutes, and this makes it really nice and fluffy. And I always use this method for whenever I'm making cakes. I like that it gives a really nice texture at the end, and it's just my preferred method. You don't have to do that, of course, if you don't want to, but this is just how I do it. Once it is all creamed together, I then added 2 eggs, and much like the Bramley and the conference pear, I have chickens, and the eggs came from my chickens, which is also very nice. To this, once the eggs were beaten in, I added about 2 tablespoons of flour, mixed that in, and then once that is all combined, I then added in the fruit. So this is the grated apple and the grated pear along with the mashed banana. And the banana is very ripe, and the riper the banana, the more sugary it is, so the sweeter it tastes. And in addition to the fruit, I also added some chocolate chips, just for something additional, just because I felt like it. And then to that I added the rest of the flour, and much like the butter and the sugar, it was 140 grams of flour. I decided to use this tin. It is a Nordic ware tin, and to get this nice coating on it, I just added some melted butter, spread that around, and added in some flour. Kind of bashed it around so the flour coated all of the crevices and the sides, and then I poured in the cake batter. And I really like this tin. It always comes out very nicely, and the cakes always slip out really well, and I don't bother with any like grease proof paper or anything like that. But once the batter is in the tin, I then like to leave it on the side for about 10 minutes just so it settles into all of the different crevices, because as you can see that it was definitely quite an intricate pattern on the top, and you want your batter to fit into all of the grooves so you get the nice pattern at the end. And then once it is settled, I put it in the oven, and I put it in the oven for about, I think, 30 minutes, and I baked it at 175 degrees Celsius. I can't think of what that is in Fahrenheit, but it came out beautifully. My oven doesn't quite bake evenly, but look at this golden crust on the top of it. I was so incredibly happy with this. It just looked phenomenal, even straight out of the oven. I thought it looked amazing. And when I tipped it out, and I just left it in there for about 10 minutes, the longer you leave it in the tin, I think it kind of cooks the outside edges a bit, so then it's a lot easier to come out of the dish, and you can see how easily it comes out here. And just look at that, it is absolutely beautiful. I was so happy with it. I couldn't believe how nice it looked when I first took it out of the tin. I did a little happy dance and everything, it was crazy. But I was so incredibly happy with it. It just looks beautiful, and the different speckles and the different colours in it, as well as the really deep golden colour, is just perfect for autumn in my opinion. But from here I then cut off a little bit. I let it to cool down just a touch before cutting it, and the crust is quite hard. And I think that is just the sugar in it from the fruit as well. I hadn't let it cool down enough, which is why it kind of crumbled a little bit at the end. But it is also beautifully moist, and it was just so good. I was so happy with it, and you couldn't really taste the apple in the pear, but I just thought it was really nice, and I will definitely repeat this again. So thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you again in the next one. Please let me know down below if you do any other variations of banana bread. I would love to hear it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.